Alright, we have a new chapter of Bakemonogatari. Things are not going well for our boy Araragi. Not even a little. He had successfully exorcised one snake. I guess that's going a little well for him. Before he realized that there was two rope-like wrapped around one another. He began exercising that one in a much more rough and tumble fashion, just straight up wrestling with it. And it was going not very well. He was getting overpowered, bitten with venom so strong that it outpaced his natural regenerative abilities. He had a bit of an insight when he realized he could use all of the spiritual miasma swirling around as fuel for his vampiric powers. But as Oshido said, to make the bad things gathered at the center of the shrine my ally. But instead, samurai zombie skeletons now walk the earth once more. As a power of the snake, who can pull from the land of life and death, can pull from beyond death and resurrect. Araragi is cut right through the spine with this one. This is bad. He's trying to go around me. Oh my gosh. This is getting skewered. This is brutal. This is like ritualistic in its violence. Holy crap. Oh man, I'm not ready to see things like this. Say this, I let myself get stabbed on purpose. Even though I can't see you, I can still catch you like this. What? And here's perhaps the general of the enemy's forces, just casually beheading Araragi as he rides off into the foreground, catching Araragi's severed head. Now, we know that Araragi's head falls off a lot. This is not a problem in and of itself, perhaps. But it's not a good thing either. The body slumped over it. Just the gruesomeness of these wounds. Like the fact that some parts of him look fine, and then you just see these gaping wounds. The contrast makes it brutal, brutal, brutal. Okay, but Araragi near death. I can't see, but I feel the invisible snake. He's beginning to perceive it. I think because he's so close to death. I think because he's literally just the head now. Those eyes have no killing intent or anything, but it's just observing my actions. Is it trying to understand me? Abnormalities follow the rules of nature. Snake, in your eyes I am sure you're seeing me as a strange creature, am I right? Whoa, what is his plan here? It's not like he can actually communicate with it, though. It's not like he can just ask it to stop. It's bound by its own rules as an abnormality as well. I know, after all, I don't even know what I'm doing here myself. Because Sengoku's curse has already been lifted, so there's no reason for me to be here. Oshino said this too. Don't just recklessly step into their territory. It's just an act of invasion. You are the intruder. Very true. Very true. It's not that the snake pulled these armies of the dead into the living, and Araragi is just caught in this gigantic force being brought out of nowhere. It's that Araragi thrust himself in behind the curtain of death and is now deep within this territory. Being kind to everyone is simply irresponsible. It's pointless to feel indebted to you. I know. Really simple. You really just saved one person after another, huh? All of your responsibility. I told you I know already. Oh, this is so well done. The fact that it's his head. It's just his head thinking all of this. In this moment, oh man. It's just that area my hand can reach. that I can take responsibility for. I'm not supposed to step recklessly into an area that surpasses that. Saving people not just for their sake, not for their sake, is just poison. In the end, it won't help anyone. I already know that. Here we see Araragi, so vulnerable, with the same sort of bindings that Sengoku had. He too is cursed. He is cursed himself. And trying to save people and trying to undo the curses upon them. He's fallen for the same thing Sengoku's classmate had. That eventually these things fall onto you. And there he is looking at his own body. His own body which casually just gets up. And Araragi's disbelief in watching his own body get up, to me, is a bad sign. To me, it makes me think that this is now something not in his control. Oh, or not. Oh, I don't know. I guess this is fine. Sengoku Nariko is my sister's friend. It's enough. It's in my area. You already saved her. He just puts it back on. All right. The zombie samurai taking notice of him. And he slams his fist through it. Good punch. A good start. His vampiric powers flaring up. We see these bats again. What's up with these bats? Are they just real bats? He makes bats. He makes bat blades? Oh my god, what is this? Some nth level spin-off of Batman? Featuring some super edgy version of Robin that I don't care about? Look, Sengoku is within a sphere of reach. Completely forgot about her until this very day. Is that really any different from a person I don't even know? A good question. This is actually quite a deep philosophical question. Like, to what do we owe these sort of inherent bonds that we form between ourselves based on circumstances which may no longer apply, may no longer be relevant? You know, if I meet an old classmate, hey, we went to elementary school together. Are we really any different than strangers, though, at this point? We maybe have some shared memories, some shared experiences that may have still impact who we are today. But if we haven't thought about each other in 20 years, does it really mean anything? It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. Or moreover, not does it really mean anything, but does it really mean anything that isn't also true for just any kind of given person on the street? I'm sure that you have something in common with all of them. And therefore, maybe instead of saying, I don't know anything, I don't owe anything to this pseudo stranger that has come back in my life after 2 decades, is it maybe better to say, I actually owe everyone something? That all of these so-called strangers I actually do have some sort of commonality with. At any rate, it doesn't really matter, because this is also an awesome action shot where Araragi is slashing through a zombie samurai. And this is fine, it follows the law of nature. So that Sengoku Nariko, pretty much don't know, saving a friend of the Sengoku Nariko, I don't even know much about, is no problem at all. So I guess this is what he's really ruminating on. It wasn't that he wasn't saying that all of those people were calling him as a hypocrite for helping Sengoku, right? Well, I mean, I'm sure they would, but that's not why it's coming to mind. The current bind that he's in now is because he's trying to save Sengoku's friend. He could have stopped right after he fought the second snake off of Sengoku, watched it slither away, and just been like, alright, well, see ya. But because he knew where it was going, he knew how defenseless this other middle schooler would be, he's going to all this extent. And that's what he's really starting to question now. That perhaps this is outside of the sphere, that this is what he barged into too recklessly, saving this not even so innocent other middle schooler who caused this whole situation in the first place. But he's still doing it. He's gripping tightly the skull of a samurai. More pikes and swords skewer him. Snake, don't look at me with those dumbfounded eyes. Humans can be more persistent than snakes. Once you start eating poison, lick the whole plate. After all, humans just tend to save themselves. It's never to save someone else to begin with. What's wrong with me saving someone else for my own sake? And this is a common theme. This is one we've talked about a lot before, is Araragi's true motivations. And sometimes they're like lecherous, sometimes they're kind of nonsensical. But in the end, often what it is it comes down to the self-satisfaction. It's to feel like an ally of justice, to feel like a hero or whatever, right? This is something his sisters are always being called out on, but Araragi is perhaps the worst offender. Whoa! And then she's going beast mode again. Is that... I guess she can just do that at any point? So I don't get it, like... she had the bandages on, but then in a bunch of previous chapters she didn't have the bandages on, and her hand just looked like normal. But I guess, at any rate, power of Kemburu's hand will be of great use. Oh boy! Hear that thunder out there? That was intense. What's gonna happen? Snake has poison. What will she do? How can she fight? Oh! Eh? Eh? My molars came out of my nose. So she just decks Araragi. I feel like none of this happened in the anime or in the light novel. Am I crazy? Did I like really forget? Or is this actually like a totally new development? The Kamburu just punches him. This is fantastic. Eh? Even the snake is confused. The snake looking so cute when I was confused. Alright, another great chapter. I don't know what the hell's going on. This is so far outside of my expectations for this arc. I don't know where it could possibly go from here. Wow, it's really raining now. I should close my window. Alright, bye-bye for now.